Some big time storms headed that way. In fact, right now I was just kind of looking at the radar and looking at Idalia, kind of what it's doing right now. It is upgraded now to a Category 1. So we are definitely seeing wind gusts over 100 miles an hour at this point, but we also now have a new tornado warning in southern Florida as well. So this is quickly intensifying, and it's going to continue to ride up the coast over the next couple of days. So right now we're seeing those wind gusts up to about 105 miles an hour. So there's Idalia, while Franklin, it's way out there. But nonetheless, you can see the flood watches. We've got the hurricane warning, so a lot going on. But by the time we get into later this evening, it should strengthen into a Category 2 before eventually making its way to just west of Tampa and just south of Tallahassee. That's where it should be making landfall by the time we get into very early Wednesday morning as a Category 3, where we could easily see wind gusts over 125 miles an hour. Eventually, it should weaken a little bit, but it is going to cause a lot of destruction up until that point. So all of the rain, that's going to be the biggest threat, and this is going to be the #1 killers when we do get that storm surge, when we do get all of that rain, all of that water with very little place to go. So you can see all the numbers there from the future rainfall totals, but again, it's already being labeled as devastating to catastrophic storm surge as it eventually does make landfall. And we're not only just concerned about the rain, but of course, when you do get the hurricanes, you kind of get a couple of tornadoes that do show up, which is why we do have that tornado warning on the right side of that hurricane, and that's going to be the case over the next couple of days. While here at home, it has been very quiet, although we did get a little bit of rain in parts of the state today. So lots of sunshine right now. You can see all the cloud cover out in the panhandle, but our radar looks very different here at home. We did have a couple of showers again in the northwest and also out in the panhandle. But looking at everything right now, everything's pretty much falling apart. So in our state, nothing going on Next Gen Live. But early this morning, we did get 0.05 in Freedom. So it counts for something, right? But we desperately need to see a little bit more precipitation. But right now, it's going to be the burn ban that we're concerned about, that wildfire threat over the next several days, because that drought is really increasing, and we really don't see a whole lot of rain in the near term. So this is our OCCC camera up over our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Do have some high clouds moving in, 85 degrees. A northeast wind right now at 7 miles an hour with dew points in the low 60s. Temperatures warming up a little bit more than where we were this time yesterday. So lots of mid and upper 80s across the north, and some upper 80s and low 90s already showing up along the Red River. That wind, though, still out of the north between about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so it really doesn't feel all too bad outside, and our pattern's not going to change over the next couple of days. I do think we're going to stay pretty seasonal. Temperatures in the low 90s. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. No rain chances, really, so that's going to be really hard to come by. But as we get into the weekend, it's going to get even hotter. Unfortunately, temperatures climbing back well into the 90s. Can't rule out some low 100s. We should get this wave to move in out of the south, and also this wave approaching from the north by early next week. Those things should work together and eventually give us at least a slight chance of rain and storms in parts of the state as we make our way into midweek of next week. So it could be a while, but today we're still looking for that high of about 91 degrees in Oklahoma City, 93 in Ponca City, 91 in Ada, 93 later today in Lawton. Later this afternoon and evening, there is the slightest chance of an isolated shower storm from the northeast and north central Oklahoma. It includes the metro. Chances are just a little bit better in southwest Oklahoma. Overnight tonight, temperatures drop down generally into the upper 60s. Lots of low 70s, though, across the south. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be back in the low 90s, but mid 90s across the Red River. By Thursday afternoon, 92 degrees. That one's going to be shifting to the southeast, mid and upper 90s and southwest Oklahoma. And then the rest of us will see those mid and upper 90s return as we get closer to the weekend. Labor Day weekend itself, though, looking hot and dry.